Hi guys, I'm Fera from Guitars AI, and I welcome you to one more tutorial on computer-aided musicology. This time we are looking at the Mixolydian Modal Pentatonic scale, its intervals, how can we build it. So, as usually, everything available on Github. So we start by importing the Music21 package. If you are, as usual, if you are running in the remote server I set up, we are using these two things here to display the musical score using Lillipond. It's just a hack, so if you're running on your local machine, you don't need to worry about it. But let's start with a concept of scale. So Music21 library has this inbuilt scale, and we can use it to get, for example, a major scale and a Mixolydian scale, for example. There are many more scales available. We'll go through it later on, not in this tutorial, but so let's see. I'm creating here a scale. The first one is the Mixolydian scale with the tonic on A. And the second one is the major scale, also in the tonic of A. So calling this function here, I'm creating the scale, and here I'm printing the pitches, the notes that build the scale. So we can see here that the only difference between the Mixolydian and the major scale or the Ionian mode is the seventh. So the major scale has the major 7 and the Mixolydian has the 7th, which is a minor 7. Let's put it like this. Okay, so we built the scales, and now let's see the intervals that build the Mixolydian scale. We have the tonic, the major second, the major third, a perfect 4, a perfect 5th, a major 6th, and the 7th, which is a minor 7. Okay. Here is just the same function we used in the previous tutorial. It's just that we go from intervals. If we give it an interval, this function will return us a scale. So we give it a tonic, a list of intervals, and a number of octaves, and this function will return the scale. So let's remind how we built the major pentatonic and the minor pentatonic. For the major pentatonic, we took the scale, the major scale, and we only took 5 notes from the scale. We omit the 4th and we omit the 7th, so we are taking the 1st, the 2nd, the 3rd, the 5th, and the 6th, and we are building the major pentatonic scale. For the minor pentatonic, it's a similar process, but we are not taking the major scale, we're taking the minor scale, but the intervals we are choosing, they are different. We are not taking the 2nd and the 6th. We are taking the 3rd, the tonic, the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, and the 7th. So there are many ways how to build a pentatonic scale. If you have this concept of building from modes or from other scales, and from 7 notes you're picking 5. So the Mixolydian pentatonic scale, which I am building here, you can build in a different way maybe, but I am using the same concept as we used on the minor pentatonic. So I'm taking the 1st, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 7th. So if we look back on the Mixolydian scale, we are taking the 1st, then we are taking the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, and the 7th. So it's interesting to notice that if we would take the same intervals as we took to build the major pentatonic scale, from the Mixolydian mode, we will end up again with a major pentatonic scale, because the only difference between the Mixolydian and the major scale is in the seventh, and we are not taking any seventh for the major pentatonic scale. So they will be the same. Okay, so considering that the intervals are like this, and if we analyze the notes on the scale, we have here is a major third and the minor 7. So here we have a major third and the minor 7. The contrast between this scale and the minor pentatonic scale, it's the third. Before we were taking the minor third, and now we're taking the major third. And what I like about this is because from the major third and the perfect fourth, if we look here, from the major third and the perfect fourth, we have only a semitone. And it gives, in a pentatonic scale, it gives a very nice feeling. If you are following some videos of my guitar practice, guitar exercises in Instagram, I will show also on the neck of a guitar the sound of the intervals. But here we can already see that in the pentatonic there will also be this semitone from the third, the major third, to the perfect fourth. So with that in mind, we know the intervals we're taking, because we're taking the first, the third, the fourth, the fifth, and the seventh. How do we know if it's a major, a perfect, or a minor? We have here the scale, the Mixolydian scale, and we are calculating using these functions the intervals from the tonic, so we know it's a minor second, a major second, a major third, perfect fourth, perfect fifth, major sixth, and minor 7. So if we are taking the first, third, fourth, fifth, and 7, we just use the same minor and major and perfect as we've seen there. So okay, with this we are creating here, we are calling the intervals to scale, so we have the list of intervals that makes this Mixolydian pentatonic, and we have this Mixolydian pentatonic scale. How can we visualize that? We can visualize it the same way like we did before. We can create a stream. I'm inserting here just some extra data, so I think Music Score would, and Music 21 would make it, because we are quite low on an A2, it will make this clef of Fa instead of a clef of Sol. So I am just making sure that I want to stay on the treble clef, so I'm including this. I'm also including the metadata because I want to display a nice title and the composer, and then yeah, just appending the notes. And we can show I'm on my local machine, and this there's a software called Music Score, which I installed and I configured to work with Music 21, and it displays this nice title and Guitars AI composer. If you are running remotely, you need to use the Lily Pond, because I didn't manage to configure Music Score on the remote machine on the cloud. And Lily Pond, I didn't manage also to display a title and the composer. Also, when you export to MIDI file, like we did in the previous tutorial, I didn't manage how to display this, even though it's included on the MIDI file. I'm not sure if it's a different MIDI. I'm not sure what's happening with the Music 21 library, but I could not make it display on Music Score. Okay, and as before, we can also use this show MIDI and we can hear. So let's go back. I introduced today this concept of a scale on the Music 21 library. So we can create, you can go into the documentation and see all the scales available. And you can do different things with scales. They have different methods, different attributes. We will use some of them later on. But what I did, I created a scale, a Mixolydian scale, a major scale. I'm printing the pitches, the notes that build the scale. From these notes, from these pitches, I am calculating the intervals related to the tonic. I'm comparing the major scale, which is the Ionian mode, with the Mixolydian mode. Then I'm choosing 5 notes from the Mixolydian scale to build up a pentatonic scale. So I'm creating a list of intervals for a Mixolydian pentatonic. I'm choosing the tonic, the third, the fourth, the fifth, and the seventh. What happens to be, because I'm taking from the Mixolydian, it's a major third and a minor 7, the natural 7. So I'm calling this function intervals to scale, because I'm passing a list of intervals, I'm passing a tonic, I'm passing a number of octaves I want to construct. Then I'm visualizing the scale, and you can listen to it. So with this concept, you can do many things. You can take any Greek mode you want. You can choose 5 notes. You can build a pentatonic from this Greek mode. You can use different. You can choose 5 notes. You can take the second and the 6th, or you can take the 4th and the 7th, or you can do different crazy combinations. And with this function that we defined earlier, you can give any kind of interval list, and it will return a scale. So that's it, guys. See you next time, and I check you later. Computer-aided musicology using Python, Guitars AI.